What's up, babe, and everybody else? We did it. We packed our best player ever in any FIFA ever. We packed Team of the Year Messi, okay? Before we get into all of that stuff, guys, this is a huge episode. So if you guys can hit that like down below, greatly appreciate it. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, subscribe. This is a massive one for us, guys. This is the best card I've ever packed. I don't want to say I've never packed a Team of the Year. I packed one Team of the Year last year, which was Lewandowski. We packed 3 in this video. This is the best Team of the Year that I've ever had. Still an absolute shock. And you guys are just seeing players kind of coming in and out here because this has been like a crazy, I don't know, week and a half, whatever it's been since our last video. But you're going to see a whole lot of changes to the team. So where we left off in the last video, I think we had Gerd, Muller, and I can't remember who was playing in behind him. So the start of this video, we had a whole bunch of coins saved up. We bought Prime Ferenc Puskas. I was waiting forever for his price to drop. We finally picked him up. I think it was at like 1.4 million. Right now, he's at like 1.7. He was as high as 1.8 right now, so I might even sell him, but we'll get into all of that in a second, guys. I'm very excited because this is just absolutely insane. This is the best. This is probably the biggest video we've ever done in terms of like player pickup. So that start was Ferenc Puskas. We picked him up. We did the Gundogan objective, and then we had a bunch of fodder sitting in our club. We did the 88 plus, and we got this guy, Sammy Eto'o's Prime. So Sammy Eto'o is a card that I've only had once, and it was 2 FIFAs ago. And it was at the very end of FIFA when they had those 85 plus by 10s where you could just recycle them over and over and over, and you could essentially do endless Prime Icon player picks and stuff like that. And I think it was like primes and the moments and stuff like that. But Eto'o's a card that I didn't get to use a whole lot because back then it was like Team of the Year was out. It was late in the game. There was only monsters playing. And I've always wanted to use this card. I was contemplating buying him, but at the same time I was like, he's around the same price as Prime Puskas, and Puskas is just my man, so I had to use him. And we ended up packing this guy. Of all the cards that I've seen, I've watched so many YouTube videos of people like doing a bunch of these, or just YouTube like content creators like having viewers submit them, and I've never seen anything really good come out of them. I was over the moon with that. I was absolutely ecstatic. He was just a phenomenal card. I've always wanted to use him. He's lean. He's lengthy. He's got that incredible sprint speed and shooting. You put a hawk on him, he's basically the perfect striker. So I was so excited to get him, and he's going to be my striker for a long time. It's going to take a lot to dethrone that guy. So we ended up selling Gerd Muller just because Gerd Muller obviously has fallen a little bit behind the power curve, but he was a fantastic soldier for the club. Really happy with him, but we sold hhim for about whatever it was, 272 something. But he was, a really, really good card. I highly recommend him. His Icon Moments Team of the Year, whatever it is. That icon one with the blue thing through it, that thing looks absolutely nuts. But I mean, we're not gonna take Eto'o out of the club. I was just so excited to get him. Plus, we packed him. Like, how many times have I actually packed any really good icons? I don't really recommend doing them, but at the same time, I have had like insane luck. So I'm not one to talk here, but I do think they're very risky. Then this card came out. I was waiting days and days and days for Paul Pogba to come out. Look, the reality is this card is way, way overpriced. He was like 600 something K. I don't recommend him if you don't, unless you're like me and like you're a huge Pogba fan, even though he's just been like totally flaky. Like, and this is coming from basically the biggest Pogba fan you could have. He's been super flaky. Like, he's just, I'm sure he's had injuries and stuff, but all that stuff came out with his brother, and then he went to Juventus. I don't even think he's played for Juventus, and I just read this morning he's had a setback. So I don't even know if he's going to play for Juventus, but at the same time, it's an emotional card for me. I was going to do it regardless of whatever the price was, and we ended up doing it. But yeah, he's still got the same issues, right? He's got better sprint speed, so it's usable now, but his acceleration is still low. His finishing's not crazy. He's like a train. Once he gets going, he's good, but like he doesn't have the acceleration that you really need in FIFA to be a usable card at this stage. You have to surround him with much, much better players. Then we did our second one. We ended up getting Socrates again. These were just really cheap to do. I think the highest, I think it was like 84, 85, 87 or something was the segments you had to do. So we had a bunch of fodder in the club because we're saving all our packs for Team of the Year, and I just ended up putting them in this. I am maybe the only person on the planet that was happy getting Prime Icon Socrates. One, I'm happy getting a Prime and not like some crappy mid one. But at the same time, even though Socrates is not going to come anywhere near our squad unless we're totally killing somebody, we'll just bring him on maybe as an emotional player. But Socrates is one of my favorite players like of all time in real life. So I was really happy to get him. Yeah, the 82 Brazil team is, anybody who's watched my channel knows, it's like one of my favorite teams of all time. So that was an emotional card for me to get. He's just going to sit on the bench, probably never get any playing time, maybe in like some squad battle stuff. But other than that, like I would be in absolute shock if I ever brought him in on an online game. So we jumped in some gameplay. This is the kind of the starter team of the year. We needed to get a couple games in our rivals to get some of the rival points. So you guys are going to see a little bit of the time that Puskas is technically still in the club right now, but I'm on the verge of contemplating, or not on the verge of contemplating, I'm contemplating selling him just because his price is so high, and I know he's just going to drop and drop and drop, but like there's just nothing that I really need out there. Once you guys see what the team looks like now after all this gameplay and stuff, you guys are going to be like, okay, why even sell him? So I'm just keeping him in the club as a super sub if I need to bring him on. We'll play a game at the very end. You guys will see live gameplay with our team of the year Messi and the other guys that we've got. We got some other big players, guys, so don't worry. It's an absolutely massive club right now. But this was the team that we went in with our last division run, and I was pretty happy with that. That first game, fairly easy. Pogba gets his first goal with the club. Can't remember who got the second one. Was it Eto'o or something like that? Might have been Puskas. But we're coming up against some better teams here. Obviously, like a team like this looks like a lot of SBCs, look like a lot of untradables that this guy had. So we weren't really coming up against too much of a challenge, I want to say. Like, I'm not trying to demean anybody, but like in Division 6, Division 7, like it's just because we haven't played a whole lot of online stuff. Like I've been so busy with work, and I'm slowly trying to progress my way through. I'm sure at some point, once I get like some days off and I can actually focus on the team. Now that I got Team of the Year Messi, I want to play a lot more, and we'll try to record as much as we can. But it's just getting these players out and running just because I don't have the time, right? I haven't had a whole lot of time to just like play the game. I'm going on maybe I get at the very most like a half an hour, and like if there's any SBCs and stuff, I'm just trying to keep my club up. But I don't like playing games takes a long time, right? It's 15-20 minutes minimum per game. So like unless you get a bunch of guys rage quitting, which is not totally unlikely at this stage in FIFA, it's just a huge time suck. So I've really only had time to go on in the morning with the dog now. Like I just haven't been able to do it on a daily basis. I'm sorry guys, that I would love to get more. I would love to just sit at home and play FIFA, but at the same time, we have to earn money, right? We got to make a living. If somebody has to pay for a house, right? So Fut Babe and I have to actually like go to work and, you know, earn money. So with that being said, whenever I can get games in, it's, you know, a great time. But at the same time, like we've got a lot going on in our lives. I just don't have time to sit there playing FIFA for 10 hours a day. So I wish I did, but you know, being a grown-up is hard sometimes. So anyway, point being, we're going into these games and we just haven't gotten up to the division that we probably should be in, right? I should probably be in like your Division 4, Division 3, maybe even higher. I don't know where I kind of fit in the FIFA realm anymore. I'm getting older. My reaction times aren't as quick. But as you guys can see, some of the opponents we're playing, they're not, like their squads aren't probably as meta as mine at this point, which is fair. And some of them just don't have that kind of skill set that I'm used to, that you're playing at some of the higher divisions. A lot of the guys that are playing in kind of those middle, lower levels, like they do what I call ball forward, or always forward gameplay. They basically just push the ball up to their strikers as quickly as they can, or they push it out to the wings, and they just try to sprint like at your defenders and try to catch your players off guard. In the lower divisions, that can work because you're usually coming up against guys that don't have fast defenders. But now with teams like mine, where the team is at right now, even with guys that know how to defend, right? Even if you have like a gold Tomori and a gold Eder Militao, which is probably going to cost you, I don't know, maybe 30K at the most, you're going to be able to stop that, because with those slower defenders, their reaction times, they get turned and a guy like Bale just goes flying past it. So you're going to notice a lot of the opponents that I'm playing are still trying to do that. They just push the ball forward as quickly as they can. They don't try to work the ball up as a team and keep it compact, like which you'll see with better skill level players at higher levels. With the lower level players, they literally just push the ball forward, pass, get it up to a striker, get it up to a winger, and then just try to like weave run at you. And it's fairly easy. Even if they do get past one, they're probably not going to get past two. And even if you dispossess them, or if they do pass everybody, they better be through on goal, or they better have somebody across the middle to like sweat it across, because a lot of the time they just like bomb down the wing, and then they push the ball up so quickly they don't have any support and they got nobody to pass to. So they're trying to take on 4 or 5 guys, and then they get frustrated that they can't run past you or just sprint past you, and then they end up quitting. So it becomes Rage Quit City, and it's good because you rocket up the divisions to really where you belong to be, or you should be playing. But at the same time, those guys are not really that much of a challenge, and it's kind of, I hate to say it, it's a little bit of a waste of time in terms of your gameplay, just because you're not really learning anything. You're not playing against better opponents. You get better at FIFA by playing against better opponents, and you're just not going to do that if you're a really high level player and you're playing down to your divisions. I know guys like want to beat people up in FIFA, but it's just, I don't know, it becomes irrelevant because you're only playing like 10 in-game minutes, and then a guy gets frustrated that he can't just sprint past you anymore, and he just quits. So we're starting to get to those somewhat higher divisions, and I'm really happy about that because we're getting a little bit more competition. But the downside with that is I know it's going to be a lot more frustrating because we're going into games and we're going to get just sweat monsters, right? Like the later times in FIFA is that when I love, because it gives you a little bit more competition. I'm a very competitive guy, which is why one of the other reasons that I don't play a ton of FIFA, because like I just get into these sweat fests with guys and it's mentally very draining. It's one of the reasons that I don't play a whole lot of champs. I don't love doing that, but at the same time I get sucked into it. Like people might think that I'm a tryhard, but look, people that say, they just go, oh, this guy's a super tryhard. Really what people are saying is this guy's better than me, or he's just as good, or this is just a tough game and I'm mad because I want it to be easy. That's what people are saying. Like I always try hard in any FIFA game, no matter who I'm playing, even if I'm playing a pro or if I'm playing like a low level player. Like I'm not going to sit there just beating up if I knew that the kid's like 12, but at the same time I'm trying my best to play my game and win. If a guy wants to quit, like go ahead and quit. I'm not forcing anybody to play, but I don't understand why people get mad at other people for being like, oh, this guy's so try hard. Like what do you expect someone to do? You just want them to roll over and let you beat them? Like nobody plays FIFA to take L's. Like I just never really understood that. So I get into these sweaty games, it becomes really mentally draining, and I need to take breaks from FIFA after like playing it because you'll be like drenched with sweat from just like playing these ridiculous like super try hard games. Eventually I want to take this team and go into FUT Champs because where my team is at right now, I don't know if divisions is really going to be that rewarding, and I just need to, I mean, we're in February, right? I haven't even played any FUT Champs. I haven't even done a qualifying run, so maybe in one of the next videos we'll do the qualifying run because I think I'm actually, I'll check right now, but I think I'm qualified for it. Yeah, I can do at least the qualification. So maybe that's what we'll do in our next video, guys. We'll do a qualification run. Anyway, so that was the gameplay for this. We have Alphonso Davies. He was a really cool player to pick up because he was tradable and he was a card that I was not expecting to get. So we ended up just packing him randomly in some random pack. Excuse me. And yeah, we ended up using him just because he was... Actually, we didn't use him. We just sold him straight up. Even though he's Canadian, I would love to have him. We didn't have a Bundesliga team. So I just sold him right away, and he ended up helping fund us getting Team of the Year Luka Modric. He was a card that I really wanted. So I knew that he was going to be good for a box-to-box midfielder. So we ended up using that as a huge chunk to get that Luka Modric. I was kind of in that 600, 700K range after we sold Gerd Muller. So I ended up getting that Alphonso Davies. He gave us another 300 or 400K. Sold him, and we were at about 1.2. So we ended up buying Luka Modric, and you'll find out what happens in a second. We had, again, a whole bunch of fodder from a bunch of packs that were just, fodder packs. We had a bunch of guys sitting in the club. We ended up doing Sergio Ramos. He was a card that I just wasn't necessarily like needing at the point, but I'm glad we did him now just because you'll see kind of where the team is at. Well, I mean, spoiler alert, we ended up picking up Messi, so he's a player that we can now put into the team, but at the time I didn't need him. And then we ended up unlocking this guy, the Otamendi. Not a huge need for this guy. If we have to put him in an SBC, we'll put him in an SBC. But there's always like Liga Portuguese like swap token objectives and stuff like that. So if we still have him in the club at that point, I'm more than happy to use him as the center back because like, look, putting together a Liga Portuguese team is really frustrating at that point. Just because you're trying to just get pace merchants. So center backs are always really hard to come by in that league. We ended up packing Luka. Okay, so what's happening here? This happened really quickly. So Luka Modric, I ended up packing at work. I was at work. I was on my break. I had 2,000 FIFA points. I threw it on and I opened up the pack and I just thought it was a nothing pack. I put all the cards stored in club, and then the top, what was it? The top tradable one, or duplicate was Luka Modric. Then we packed him again the next day, and then we got this guy. This card, I was in absolute shock. So when I saw the blue come up, this was from that New Year's pack that everybody was like going nuts about. I was kind of on the fence. I was like, maybe I'll open this thing. I had FIFA points on. I just threw it on. This whole pack's untradeable, which is the part that annoys me. I saw the blue come up. I didn't know what to expect. And then before I could even process what was going on, I saw the Argentina flag. And when I saw the Argentina flag, I wasn't... Obviously, your mind goes to Messi, but I was thinking, what other Argentinians are in the squad? I couldn't think of who was in it. And before I was even able to process what was going on, so much was happening. The RW comes up, then the Messi comes up, and I'm literally sitting there like in shock, just like looking at this guy, thinking, did I just pack Team of the Year Messi? Like, I've never packed Messi before this year, ever. And I think this is, 15th year that Ultimate Team's been around. I've never packed a Messi with the exception of those 85 by 10s that you can just do for free at the end of the year. I'm talking about during a game, let alone a special version of him. So I've never, ever, ever packed this guy until earlier this year when we had like a 182 plus player pack or something, and it was Messi, and I was over the moon just getting the gold version. I was just happy getting the gold version. He sat in my club forever. Until today, actually, when we put him in one of the segments for the Mane SBC, because again, we just had a whole bunch of fodder sitting in the club, like all of this untradeable stuff. Because this year, I know you guys are wondering why I have so much fodder, but like there's so much untradeable stuff this year, guys, that it just sits there, and you get duplicates and duplicates, so you end up doing all these SBCs that you probably don't even need. And now I've got like all these like bench warmers from obscure leagues that I'm probably never ever going to use. I might bring them on a sub here and there, but overall, like this is a perfect example. Mane we just did with like fodder. Literally the whole thing was untradeable. I think I used maybe 2 or 3 tradable cards. All of them were just untradeable cards that I had duplicates. So you get like a duplicate Cruz and he just sits in your trade pile and you can't do anything until you get rid of them. So I end up doing these segments for these SBCs that I don't even really overly want. But, you know, I'm not going to complain about getting essentially a free Mane, but... Anyway, I'm all over the place. I'm all excited because there's so many cards that are coming into the club. So what we're going to do right now, guys, I'm in a bit of a rush because I got to get ready for work soon, but we're going to play a quick game. So I want you guys to see what Lionel Messi plays like in game. We played one offline game just because yesterday when I packed him, I was so excited. I just wanted to get a quick game out, but I didn't have time to record. So we just played an offline game. I just wanted to get him going. So he is going to be a little morale still. You guys know my feelings on that, but let's get into that. Okay, guys, so this is what the team's going to look like. I'll give you guys a quick rundown. So, I mean, look at this team. Okay, so Donnarumma we picked up. We bought for 33.5. The next guy, this guy, Hakimi, the most overpriced card we've bought all FIFA. So he's about 2 million coins. We had those 2 Luka Modric's that we packed. Or sorry, the one that we bought, because we bought one with coins earlier. And then we packed one that was tradable. And then we packed a second one that was tradable. So you saw that earlier there. So that's where the funds came for this Hakimi. Sergio Ramos. You guys saw that one. Eder Militao, this was another one that we bought. So Eder Militao was the funds after... I think we sold something else. I can't even remember what it was. But we had something else sitting in the club. We sold a bunch of like mid-range guys, Seedorf and a bunch of those guys. And they just added up. And we sat there waiting for the coins for Eder Militao. Or sorry, waiting for the price to drop on Eder Militao and up. But he actually ended up going up. So I had to like buy him before he went even higher. So like a crazy backline. Capdevia we packed a long time ago. He's been a beast. You guys will see that. We bought this Pedri. We had a little bit left over after we... I don't even remember who we sold here, but we had some leftover stuff after we bought Hakimi, just because I think I had 200k or something like that left after Hakimi. And even now, we still have probably 80k or something like that. So Pedri was a guy, he's going to be one of the holding midfielders. There you guys see it, the second Modric we packed. I mean, I'm absolutely speechless over that. Dybala, super cheap, he's been in the club. This guy's fantastic, he's our left attacking mid. Team of the year, Messi. I mean, whoa, what do you say? Right, the Eto'o, he's going to be the striker, and El Shaarawy, the inform. This guy's been super jacked up, and he is awesome. I'm really happy to have him. So that is going to be the team. We have Puskas tradable. I might still sell him if he goes back up to 1.8. Brolin tradable, untradable Pogba, untradable Fofana. Haven't used him. We did pack this guy also during Team of the Year. I forgot to show that, but he was one that I think we got on the mobile app. Trippier, he's an untradable version, so you guys can see here we packed him, we used him in one game. Bremer we ended up buying just because I had him in there before we before we got Messi and could throw in Sergio Ramos, I was using Bremer as the other center back. Socrates, Mkhitaryan with the upgrade, Bailly, Zambrotta, and Tomori. Like, what a squad, guys. Like, what a club. So let's get into a game. Hopefully we can find somebody. Oh, okay. I was going to back out. I was going to show you a trick that I do. So if you guys aren't connecting to people, then I suggest just backing out. But let's just get into a game. I don't know how this is going to go. I might get killed here. I don't even know what division I'm in, guys. I'm really excited because I just like being able to use Messi. But if this goes really poorly, it doesn't mean that Messi's bad. It just means that like haven't been playing enough for some of these middle divisions here. I'm sure this guy's not happy with the players that he's seeing me with. But let's get into this, guys. I'm just over the moon getting Messi here. I cannot believe. Okay, whoop. So the problem with a lot of this stuff is the players have to like change their positions here. Because I'm, whoops, a little nervous playing live comms. You guys know that I'm terrible with live comms. Get going, get going. Oh, red card. He did not like that. What? That's not a red? Here we go. Goal time. Can't leave Eto'o wide open. Okay, so nice and easy first goal there. I don't know why he would go lie there. He was probably just wanting to... he was probably actually just wanting to use that animation. Ooh. Oh. Oh, this guy's really aggressive. Sorry, guys. I know I'm terrible with live comms. I just wanted you guys to see what Messi's like. I'm probably going to try to force too much stuff to him. Let's just relax here. Sergio Ramos. Oh my God, what is he up to up there? All right, now we're settling in a little bit. Remember, guys, Messi is on only his second game here, so he's going to get moraled a little bit. So he's going to be a little bit all over the place, but, you know, he's still Team of the Year Messi. Oh, that's a nice goal. Bad defending by me. Iago Aspas. Oh, he did get a red card, that guy. I was going to say, I was in shock that he didn't. You guys know my feelings on Reds. That they... I mean, we're going to beat this guy. It's just... that was really terrible by me. We'll beat this guy just because you can tell by the way he plays. Yeah, like he's a runner. Oh, good save. I did not expect that. Dybala. Oh, Dybala! Yeah, again, what I was going to talk about earlier was you guys know my feelings on red cards, that they nerf your team in order to give the guy who got the red card a chance. There's Messi right there getting nerfed a little bit. So yeah, Messi's going to do those kind of wobbly runs. He's not going to lock in until he's got a couple wins under his belt. Because that's what happens. You guys can see, I don't know if you'll be able to see it right there. It happened really quick, but they kind of like, they run and then they kind of start turning like that. So that happens when your players haven't won enough games yet and their morale is still low. Yeah, so this guy's not... He's not a bad player, but he's what you expect in this division. He's not going to be a great player. He's very aggressive defensively, and the problem with overly aggressive players, yeah, I'm not playing very wise to this guy's style. But yeah, I was going to say, like, overly aggressive players, the problem with overly aggressive in this FIFA is that it can catch you out and it opens up lanes like this. Good save. Yeah, this guy's crazy aggressive, so we'll end up beating him again. The only reason that he is in this game right now is because he is playing so aggressive, so it's kind of nerfing my players a little bit. But yeah, all we have to do is slow it down. He'll get frustrated. Eventually his players will run out of gas. See? Oops. Yeah, his players will run... Sorry, guys. I know that I'm not, like, talking a whole lot during this. So his players are going to run out of gas. This guy's, like, crazy aggressive. He's got, like, full press on. Because I don't know if he just does that as his tactic or if he sees my team and just wants to be a lot more aggressive. But if you can patiently pass and just don't hold sprint, you just essentially collect and then just walk around and then look for the really, really high percentage passes, you can essentially just walk through this guy's team. I'm just playing a little nervous just because I'm doing it on camera, so I'm rushing. It's my first game with Messi. I'm trying to force things. But if you play intelligent and just play towards your opponent, you'll be able to beat him. So this guy's not going to be... I'm not going to destroy him, but he'll potentially quit if we put a couple goals past him because he'll get all frustrated. Let's go team press and put the press on this guy. See, he does not like it. And there we go. I don't want that automatic animation. That's really annoying. Yeah. Oh, good save. Goal time. See, simple stuff like that. Like I said, you don't sprint, you just walk around him, and eventually he'll panic enough. Good job. Nice dribbling. Yeah, you can see the game breaking, guys. His players are getting auto tackles for a couple of reasons. One, he's playing it smart actually because he's got the team press on. Plus, he's got yeah, he's gonna quit because he's getting frustrated. There it is. So yeah, he got frustrated because his team he's trying to do the full press and it was giving him advantage. His players were like intercepting stuff they shouldn't be intercepting, and the fact that he had the red card, it gave his players a boost. However, like I said, if you just slow it down, you can just walk your way through it. But it sucks because it's not really reflective. Like, this is the types of games that I hate in FIFA, because the problem with them is the game does most of the work for this guy. Like, he's not a terrible player, but he was just abusing all the tactics in game. He was abusing how the game mechanics work. So if you just go full press, all out attacks, hyper aggressive, and then as soon as he got the red card, his sliders went further up. It doesn't help his shooting. What it's doing is helping his defense. So it auto defends for him. So when I'm trying to make those passes, his players are sticking with mine. Like, the computer's tracking all of my runs perfectly, and then it's narrowing the passing lane. So if I'm here and the opponent's here, and I try to make a pass, it goes like that, and it shifts it, so it's moving the players in the way, so it increases the amount of interceptions you're getting. I know this might not make a whole lot of sense. It's just frustrating because it's not a fun game to play, because you're playing the computer now. You're not playing against your opponent. He just let the computer do all the stuff for him, and he got frustrated because the computer wasn't winning the game for him. I don't think that guy was that good a FIFA player. You can tell he wasn't really making intelligent passes. He just knew how to abuse the tactics in the game. But that is going to be it, guys. I wish I could play another game. We'll do a run next time of the FUT Champs qualifiers. But that is going to be it, just because I have to get going. I have to get ready for work. But I hope you guys like this video. I appreciate you guys watching till the very end. And until next time, take care. Peace. I wish I could score more goals with Messi, but we'll do it next time. Bye!